Thomas Alva Edison, born on February 11, 1847, in Milan, Ohio, was one of the most remarkable inventors and businessmen in history, often called the Wizard of Menlo Park. From a young age, Edison displayed an unusual curiosity for how things worked, despite struggling with formal education due to partial deafness and an unconventional learning style. Instead, he became largely self-taught, reading extensively and experimenting tirelessly. He began his career as a telegraph operator, which ignited his fascination with electrical science and communication technology. Over the course of his life, Edison obtained more than 1,000 patents worldwide, making him one of the most prolific inventors of all time. His greatest contributions include the phonograph, which could record and reproduce sound, the motion picture camera, which revolutionized entertainment and storytelling, and the improved electric light bulb, which transformed daily life by bringing safe, practical illumination into homes and streets. But Edison was more than just an inventor. He was also a visionary entrepreneur. He established the first industrial research laboratory in Menlo Park, New Jersey, creating a model for systematic innovation and teamwork that shaped the future of modern research and development. Edison's relentless work ethic, often working long hours without rest, and his belief in perseverance made him a symbol of American ingenuity and determination. By founding companies such as General Electric, which remains one of the world's largest corporations, he showed how science and business could merge to reshape society. Edison passed away on October 18, 1931, in West Orange, New Jersey, leaving behind a legacy that continues to influence technology, industry, and the way we live today. While Thomas Edison is most often remembered for the light bulb, his influence reached far beyond a single invention, shaping modern industry, communication, and culture in countless ways. Edison's establishment of the Edison Electric Light Company laid the foundation for the creation of General Electric, a corporation that became a global leader in technology and power generation. One of his greatest achievements was not just inventing the bulb, but designing an entire electric power distribution system, allowing electricity to be produced in power stations and delivered to homes and businesses, a breakthrough that transformed cities and made the modern world possible. His work in motion pictures also changed history. Edison's invention of the kinetoscope and development of early movie cameras led to the birth of the film industry, forever altering how stories were told and shared. Equally remarkable was his phonograph, the first device able to record and play back sound, which laid the groundwork for the entire music and recording industry. Beyond his inventions, Edison's approach to innovation was revolutionary. He believed in trial and error, famously saying that he had not failed but found 10,000 ways that wouldn't work. His deafness, which worsened over time, did not stop him but instead gave him focus, reducing distractions and pushing him deeper into his experiments. Edison's legacy is not only in his devices, but in his philosophy of persistence, teamwork, and practical problem-solving, which inspired generations of inventors and entrepreneurs. By the time of his death in 1931, the world was literally lit by his vision, and his impact on science, business, and daily life remained unmatched. Important parts of Thomas Edison's life. 1. Early life and childhood, 1847 to 1859. Born on February 11, 1847, in Milan, Ohio. Grew up in Port Huron, Michigan. Suffered partial hearing loss in childhood, which worsened with age. Attended school briefly but was considered a poor student. His mother homeschooled him and encouraged his curiosity. Early career as a telegrapher, 1860s. At age 12, he sold newspapers and snacks on trains, using the money to fund experiments. Learned telegraphy during his teenage years. Worked as a telegraph operator, sparking his fascination with communication technology. 3. First inventions and early success, 1869 to 1876. Invented the automatic vote recorder, his first patent. Gained recognition with improved versions of the stock ticker and telegraph. Moved to Newark, New Jersey to set up his first small workshop. 4. Menlo Park Laboratory, 1876 to 1886. Established the famous Menlo Park Laboratory in New Jersey, the first industrial research lab in the world. invented the phonograph, 1877, his first major breakthrough, astonished the public by recording and playing back sound. Created the incandescent light bulb, 1879, along with the first practical electrical power system to distribute electricity. 5. Expansion and entrepreneurship, 1880s, 1890s. Founded the Edison Electric Light Company, which later merged into General Electric. Built the first power station in New York City, 1882, bringing electric lighting to homes and streets. Developed the kinetoscope and other early motion picture devices, helping to start the film industry. 6. Later career and legacy, 1900s, 1931. Continued inventing, including improvements in storage batteries, cement, and sound recording. Worked on the development of nickel-iron batteries, later used in electric cars and industrial machinery. Received over 1,000 patents worldwide, making him one of history's most prolific inventors. 7. Final years and death, 1931. Edison remained active in research well into his 80s. Died on October 18, 1931, in West Orange, New Jersey. In his honor, people across the U.S. dimmed their lights for a few minutes to mark his passing.
Declining health. By the late 1920s, Edison's health had begun to fail. He suffered from diabetes and other ailments, and his hearing loss, which had troubled him since childhood, grew worse with age. Despite his frail condition, he remained intellectually active, spending much of his time at his laboratory in West Orange, New Jersey, though his pace of work slowed. He continued experimenting but mostly focused on small-scale projects rather than revolutionary inventions. Public recognition and legacy. Edison had already become a living legend in America and around the world. He was admired not only for his inventions like the phonograph, motion pictures, and the electric light bulb, but also for his role in shaping the modern industrial era. In 1928, he received the Gold Medal of the U.S. Congress, one of the nation's highest honors, recognizing his lifetime achievements. Friendship with Henry Ford and Harvey Firestone. Edison spent much of his later years in the company of fellow industrial giants and friends years and death. In 1930, his health worsened significantly. He became increasingly weak and was mostly confined to his home, Glenmont, in West Orange. Thomas Edison died on October 18, 1931, at the age of 84. At the moment of his funeral, lights were briefly dimmed in homes, factories, and cities across the United States as a tribute to the man who had given light to the world.